What's going on, everybody? We are live. This is MidLife Live 14 on April the 20th. Interesting. And I've got a full panel back there, plus a special guest. But remember, this is an extra special episode because the most active people in the chat will go onto the wheel for a 1-year subscription to Card Ladder. But let's just do a quick reminder first of how the last one of these went. Oh boy, MidLife Live number 14, presented by Card Ladder, where you can win a 1-year subscription to Card Ladder. And the crew is back. The boys are back, and this is going to be a good one. You're rich, and that's why you're a perfect fit for this group.
I think that he is inaccurate.
I'm ready.
Well, I think I'm a perfect fit for the group.
Samesies.
What do you say there, liver lips? I got my mic working.
Darren, why are we not good enough for you to come out and hang with us?
I kind of want to spend Valentine's Day with my wife.
One of one.
Boy. A couple of handsome guys and me. There's no bailout here. Pretty much everyone's going to be there except for Darren. Stripped them naked and then tarred and feathered them.
Wow. Every grader gets a beeper now, so they know when they have to come into work.
Fax machine is state-of-the-art stuff, no doubt about it.
22-year-old kids like they always have at those things.
Pretty simple. They've got a canned answer. And that's what pisses me off. John Wayne used to say, it's getting to be re-goddamn ridiculous. So they fucked eBay up, all-to-wall assholes there. What don't they do? Nobody likes them more than I do, because I'm a complete idiot.
Well, you know, they'll probably be around. Like, we'll see. Oh, you know, this is dropping.
They treat their customers like shit. Hi there. We're sorry, but we're running a little bit behind right now.
Sorry, folks, we're closed for 2 weeks.
Petty
the other moose should have told you. It's scary. Ooh. What?
Hey, Daddy Petty, will you take me there?
My card kind of got lost. I got beat like a redheaded stepchild.
You know, when the world ends and all that's left are Twinkies, Roaches, and Wally.
And I'll pay up for centering. That's fine.
I buy them centered, but by the time I get them or bring them home, they don't look centered anymore. People don't like drama. I'm sorry that I'm giving drama tonight. And I got my blinker on. I want effect that.
We collected for the joy of collecting.
I want effect that.
Petty covered the grading stuff very well.
I want effect that. I'll rip my shirt off. If you want to lose your fucking money, you go right ahead and do what you're doing.
Not a cord, it's a food cord.
I love y'all.
You will not want to miss MidLife Live number 14. All right. Well, if you're listening, you didn't miss it. We've already got 81 people in the chat. I will be hitting the chat hard here in a second. But first, let's bring out the original guest of MidLife Nation. Darren, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
It's been, about 8 days since we've seen each other? How are you doing without hangout time?
Going through withdrawals. I think I'll make it, though.
Looking at some of your pickups, I think you're probably doing just fine. Should we bring out Tony? What do you think?
Yeah.
He's back there beating his chest. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Tony,
Aye, Captain.
Hey, buddy. How are you doing? I mean, you have any sticker residue on your fingers or anything lately?
No, it's hanging out up there on my shelf, right up yonder.
Oh, well, we'll be taking a closer look at that bad boy.
Yeah, a little jewelry, little gold,
a little bit of yes. There's jewels all over that thing, and then the one and only backstage, pacing like a caged lion. We've got the one and only Mike Petty.
Let me in, would ya? Exit, stage left even. What's up there, liver hips?
Hey,
we
buddy.
got a whole full panel tonight. Clark Kent, my good buddy, Beaver Feet. Nice to see you guys.
It's nice to be seen. There's 94 people in the chat, and it is exciting to see all of you in your little emojis and your comments. Although a week ago we were hanging out in person, we were, breaking bread and eating pancakes, right, Darren?
They were good.
They were good.
He only had 3 little pancakes. I mean, I had a full Monty, plus I added 3 pancakes. You must have missed that.
I say Petty ate more than I did.
Oh, are you kidding? I ate at least 4,000 calories that morning.
I was at the other end of the table, but when they brought out the pancake plate for Darren, the whole table kind of shifted.
Here we come on the run with the burger and the bun and a dab of Coke on the side. Oh, the palates we will tickle with the cold dill pickle. All right, that's
all right. Now this is MidLife Live 14. Technically, we had one that was on the For Collectors channel, so it's technically our 15th, but our 14th here. I do want to thank our friends over at Card Ladder again. They sponsored this episode. What does that mean? Does that mean that I get showered with money and endorsements? No. What it means is they are giving away to all of you one subscription, one-year subscription. Now, if you don't win, remember, you can get $20 off a 1-year subscription using the promo code MidLife. Now, Darren recently switched over from VCP to Card Ladder. And one of the things we found in that process, Darren, is the promo code doesn't work on the app. It only works on the website. So you can do it from your phone on the website, but you can't get the promo code on the app, which would have saved him $20 for the first year. But let me just start with that, Darren. Your switch over to Card Ladder, how has that gone? And I'm going to start throwing stuff up on the chat.
Good. So, I mean, I like Card Ladder. I do. So VCP, I don't dislike VCP, but with VCP, if you buy a card that's somewhat rare or that specific grade of that card hasn't sold in a while, it's strictly based off comps, right? So you could have a card that you bought at a card show that hasn't sold, in an auction or on eBay for like 8 years, and the comp on it is like, I have multiple cards that are 4+ figure cards that are showing like 3-figure prices on VCP. So with Card Ladder, I really like that they've got the algorithms that say even if it hasn't sold, it helps. They have some pretty solid algorithms to help estimate what it's worth. So that was definitely a plus. I'm still trying to figure out the whole, like, how do I find comps of cards I don't own quickly? So I still have VCP until I could learn that, and then I'll shut it off. But I like it. Honestly, my favorite part though is when I pull it up, it's my cards in Card Ladder, right? It's not just like a generic image of a card that you'd have in VCP. It's legitimately
it's your example of the card. And
so I could show people my collection on my phone.
When it says my collection, it's actually your collection, which is cool. Because there were several times at the show where I was like, yeah, I got at the 2024 Strongsville is when I got my, Warren Spahn leaf card. And I say, here, let me look, hit the button, and it's mine. And it's just an easy way to do that too. And you can sort it in different ways. And big fans of Card Ladder. And a big fan of all of you in the chat, all 115 of you. You're saying VCP has more auction houses, I believe. That sounds like more of a question. I'm not sure about that. I do know that the owner of VCP did stop me in the aisles of Strongsville, and we had an interesting conversation. But hey, it was fun. It's always nice to meet new people, I suppose, right?
That's old Bobby.
Especially when they're friendly.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. Appreciate that, Jake. Hi, Pop out there. Again, lots of you guys keep chiming in the comments. We got Mr. Vaughn out there with the Tecmo Bowl. Now, isn't that the chase card in the new Bowman or the Topps Chrome football? It's like somebody out there tell me. It's a Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl card is like the chase card, I think, which is wild. So I thought we would start things off where we sometimes start things off, which is by participating in everybody's favorite game, which is
Guess the grade.
To play Guess the PSA grade.
Now, one of the things I love about Guess the Grade is we get participation from our friends in the chat where you all can share your thoughts. So this time we're going with a very iconic card, the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron. And again, it's in a PSA holder. We tend to go with PSA for obvious reasons. And when we look at this card, you know, we can take in a lot of different things. I mean, you guys have to start weighing it for yourself. If you're in the chat, go ahead and it is that's Mega Man, which is pixelated like Tecmo Bowl. But the card here in the chat, as soon as you have a guess on the grade, we've already got some in there. We've got PSA 3s in there as some guesses. We will continue firing those off. But I wanted to give you a closer look because, you know, we're always interested in corners, so you can see some corner issues, but it's kind of small. So I thought I'd zoom in. So those are zoomed in of the corners, okay, from the front. Again, feel free, all of you out there, to throw your chats. We've got 2s and 3s, 2.5s. We got a couple 4s. And then we've got, there's the back of the corners. And
very honest.
That's worse than honest.
The rat that got a hold of that top right picture definitely didn't need second helping at lunch. So back to the card. You guys tell me, let's start at the top. Darren, what do you think that card received from PSA?
I think a 2.5.
Okay, Darren's going 2.5. We've seen several 2.5s in the chat. We've got lots of 3s in the chat. We've got a 2 from Jeremy in California. Sven, who I got to meet in person, with a 3. We got Mike Jayhawker with the 3. We got no NBA sticker for Fresh Prince, who it was a pleasure meeting at the West Coast Card Show.
Steve's awesome.
He went 2.5. All right. We got David Musari, my guy. He says 5. Wow. So let's go to Petty next. We got Joe Bro says 2.5.
I mean, literally, it's got some issues. It is fairly clean as far as there's no print marks, which are on them a lot. But if I was opining for Eye Appeal Inc., I would say there's definitely centering opportunities. And it's not pleasant to my eye. It hurts my eye.
Michael Ham is saying too.
Especially the right corner on the back, which is actually the left corner. That is really bad. I mean, I've never seen a corner quite like that. It's very unauthentic corner. And I'd give it a 1.
Jeannie is saying a 3 with a 2.5 sticker.
I mean, that's possible.
So Petty said 1. Darren said 2.5, correct?
Yes.
Which brings us to our final contestant in tonight's game.
The smartest one here.
Mr. Tony.
I'm going with the solid 4. I'm going with the 4.
Come on.
You know, it's like Price is Right. Y'all are all low. I'm just going to go high, and I'm going to win this bad
Should have said 3.5.
A couple of people said authentic in the chat, and I think that could be, depending upon how much of that corner is missing, authentic could be a legit one too.
Minimum size.
Coach is chiming in with a 4 in 1990, but now it would be a 2.
I'm not saying it should have been a 4. I'm saying it's a 4.
Let's see what Darren's brother had to say. Old Slab 4. Interesting.
Yep, Dean knows.
2 with the 1.5 sticker. So Mangini's dropping it as we speak.
It keeps going down.
We got some authentics in there. All right, here we go. Ready? Drum roll. It got a 4.
Yes.
It got
my God.
For all you haters out there, tell me I'm crazy. Who won this bad boy?
Did you share all this with Tony before?
No, Tony
I
just
didn't
knows.
share Jack with
Tony knows his baseball cards. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, heck, just
Jim's right.
Buy the card, not the grade, is what we have to say.
I would. I'd pay a 1 price for the 4.
Yeah, Tony did not have inside information. I mean, I pulled this picture about 2 hours ago as I was getting set up in here. So
he always wins. He's smart.
Yeah.
My name's on the wheel.
Says old slab. Now this is not. Now believe it or not, this is a Generation 9 slab. So this is the generation slab before the current Lighthouse generation. So this was not a card that was graded 25 years ago.
That would have been helpful, don't you think?
Steve graded that one.
It's not a leading zero. Tony and his Steve Grad beef will play out well over the next few months. Yeah. Dean, we got to give Dean credit. He got way closer than his brother.
Get Dean on the wheel.
I know.
We thought Angie's just new twos. He just doubled it.
Yep. Okay. Mookie's saying the Steve Grad beef that is going nowhere. So maybe what we should do for Midlife 15 is have Steve Grad and Tony on and
he might be the special guest for all I know.
He might be the special guest. We do have a special guest. He's not backstage yet. I think he'll be back in a few minutes. I did give a hint saying it's a he there. So there is that. Okay. So obviously, a big part of the show is going to be a little bit of a recap of what went down at Strongsville, our feelings on Strongsville, our thoughts on Strongsville. And I did, as always, ask the guys some questions to get sort of their thoughts about this year's Strongsville show. So let me ask you guys, well, let's look at the question and then we'll see what other people had to say. Again, as always, if you are in the chat and you are at the show or not, feel free to share your thoughts on all of these questions too. But here we go. The first question I had was the 2026 Strongsville show was, and you had 4 options because going into this, we didn't know what to expect. There was some hemming and hawing and should we even do this? And what's the whole point now? And it's different and all that. So the question was the 2026 Strongsville show was way worse, better, or way better. Those were the 4 options. And to be honest with you, I was a little surprised, especially at how you guys responded. But let's take a look. And Petty said way better. And then Tony and Darren said better. So let's start with you, Petty. Why was the 2026 Strongsville show way better?
Well, I initially thought that the place being 3 miles away was going to be a problem. And turned out, when you have guys like Darren and Tony that have people that have cars, it was really pretty easy getting back and forth. Didn't really have a problem with that. The hotel, you didn't have to run up 4 flights of stairs. That was nice. I didn't have to worry about the turning the thing around on the shower to try to get the shower to work like a crank back in the Three Stooges, trying to get water out of it. And then the hot water came right out. That was nice.
Yeah.
Hot shower in a second. So that, up on the 6th floor, I liked the area in the front was plenty big for everybody there. The party that we had there was great. Of course, the moonshine. But we had moonshine last year.
Tell me about the moonshine. How do you end up in the parking lot drinking moonshine?
It's pretty much a rite of passage for the last 3 years. A certain somebody, Phil Necro fan, Billy, won't give him up though. Him and Keith, they come down from West Virginia, and they bring the moonshine in the mason jars. And it's the goods. It's really good. They have usually 4 different flavors. By the time you get halfway down, you got Billy digging his big old sausage fingers in the thing like this, just pulling out peaches, and you got the blueberries. You had I don't know. One of them was
people
banana.
Throwing potatoes at cars.
You got right. You got to try the banana nut bread. Oh my God, it was so good. And then the hot stuff. They had the 150 proof or whatever it was, and it was cold out there. And then our good friend Timmy, Eartha, also known as Eartha Kit, codename EK, Eartha Kit, brought the kit from Cleveland. He lives there. And that was just basically kicked off the entire party. So shout out to Tim and his channel. I think it's called Grateful Dead Vintage. So get out there and subscribe to his channel. And it was nothing illegal. It's all legal there, but he was just trying to represent, and who am I to not try a little something when he's trying to represent? So, and really the moonshine was delicious. It was pure. It is right. So
did I just see a comment that says Brian said he walked back to the Embassy Suites from the show?
Brian did?
Yeah. Yankee Kane.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I walked from the show to Embassy Suites after the show on Saturday, so technically within walking distance.
I mean, I guess it is within walking distance on a nice day. It's 3 miles, but after walking all day, you don't necessarily want to do a 1 hour walk unless you're in shape like him, I guess. But I mean, and then you want to talk about the show. It was really nice. I mean, they had plenty of room. All the dealers were there that you'd expect. I think that the parking, it's what you would expect. Pretty much, and you walk into the show, there's twice as many people. So the parking, when it was freezing rain, it was a little bit of a problem. And that's what happens when you get to pneumonia.
And the valet didn't like me, so that didn't help either.
Well, you didn't get Tony stole your car. Everything happened to you.
My day one was not ideal, but it got better in day 2.
You were being tested.
Okay. First of all, there's a lot of speculation going on right now about who is the surprise guest. Again, we don't know yet, but the surprise guest is coming, but there are some predictions. Mookie Chilson is one of the predictions. I've heard some other names, but to another comment, Rick is asking, is the 2027 Strongsville preview campaign starting tonight? We can't get too early with that, right? I mean, it's just time to start
it was
talking about
definitely worth it was definitely worth going back to again. I mean, as far as it is, the travel was great, so that worked into it for me, that to my enjoyment. Just getting there was a breeze this time for the first time, and getting home, so that makes a big difference too, in your travel. So I would definitely suggest it to anybody. It was a great show.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's go over to Tony. Tony said it was better. He didn't say much better, but he said better. So why was it better, and why was it not much better, Tony?
People have wrote songs about the first time. Like, it feels like the first time. Yeah, there you go. It feels like the very first time. So yeah, you can't ever redo the first time, so it was better. Like Petty said, I wasn't walking up and downstairs. The elevator actually worked. We had breakfast down there. We had plenty of room to mill around. And my room was huge. It had some stains, but I'm a dude, and it's okay. But the wife would have been pointing at every stain in that. Not that she's bougie, but
she would have had to wear shoes
for a dude weekend. It was great. The show was amazing. We had more vintage guys than we had in the old place, and I thought it was awesome.
And Darren, you chimed in a little bit. I know you had an issue with the valet where they refused you, and then 30 seconds later they were taking people.
So my first day, I was frustrated a little bit. We got, I rented a Suburban, specifically paid for a Suburban, got there. There you go. We don't have any Suburbans. And I said, well, what are you going to do? We're going to give you a Volvo. And I'm like, you're going to give me a discount because it's not what I ordered? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, this sucks. So then we got the Volvo, and it was way too small. And then when we got there, I was like, Tony, they wouldn't give me my Suburban, and they didn't have one. And Tony's like, oh, they finally found one because they gave it to me. So Tony got our Suburban.
And Tony was in there an hour later. It said your name up there in lights, and it said C desk. Yeah, we didn't even see Tony's name, but it must have been on there. It said,
I just said my name was on there. I walked out and got in my big fat Suburban,
and it was beautiful.
I was
and it smelled like Eartha Kitt too.
Yeah, boy! I feel like I was riding around in an ashtray all weekend.
It smelled like the restroom at my high school. Is what it smelled.
It smelled like that. It smelled like my car in Ontario.
Yeah, there you go.
In my clothes afterwards.
So then the next day, I went to the bank to go get cash. And and the bank wouldn't let me withdraw all my cash because they said I was asking for too much. And I told them, I said, if you don't have this, because it wasn't a ton, so if you don't have that much cash, there's a problem. And literally the manager told me if I don't like it, I could go to a different bank. And I'm like, wow, that's great. So then we left straight from the bank and went to the show. And I pulled up to the valet and it was raining. And the valet goes, we're not open. So like, fine. So then I parked in the lot, walked back in the rain. And as I walked back, the valet was parking a bunch of cars. So then I asked the guy, when did you go? The guy that told me they're not open, I'm like, I thought you were closed. When did you open? He literally looked at me and said, right after you drove off. I was like, why does everybody hate me all of a sudden?
They were picking on you, I'll tell you.
But after that, everything got really good. So that's why I said it was way better. Not way better. I said it was better.
I've been kicked out of much better banks than that, so don't worry.
Fair,
well, the funny thing is, our
good.
buddy Jim at the bank.
Other than that, I liked it. I was worried when we got there the first day that it was going to be way too hot, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But yeah, there was a lot of great stuff, right? Meeting new friends, eating pancakes, buying cool cards, seeing a lot of really cool stuff, just hanging out with our buddies. There were some really, really great cards at the auction houses that were on display.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. So that was Orlando. That's a good point. I did promise the valet a hamburger and I forgot to get it for him, but that's fine.
Hey, the one thing I did notice, I don't know if you guys noticed it or if we're going to talk about it, but I saw a shitload, a sea of SGC to see what I could see.
You know, that is a good comment, and that wasn't on my
SGC.
That wasn't on my list on the agenda, but it did feel like I would say at least 2/3 of the cards in the cases were SG. You think higher than 2/3 were SGC holders? There was a ton of SGC.
And a lot of raw, which was nice.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to go through it, but I mean, if that's your bag, and it was a lot of people pulled some great stuff out of there. Yeah. So I can't deny that. That was pretty nice. Mookie, I was there when he picked up a nice Gil Hodges Wieners card. He also went back and doubled back when we looked at that Abraham Lincoln rookie card he went back and got that on Sunday Fun Day. So that was pretty nice to see.
Yeah, the Abraham Lincoln card I was talking about on Surface Issues with Junk Wax Hero Mike the other day. I got a screenshot sent to me of the guy who bought it on his Facebook post. So I know the owner. So that was
nice.
Yeah,
very good.
There were a lot of cool cards, but there were a ton of SGC, which, you know, I mean, depending on where you stand on things, that could become an issue. What percent? You said higher than 2/3, Petty. What would you guess?
I think it was like at least 85%. And then the rest of the PSA that was there was old labels. I mean, there was very few new labeled PSAs there.
Would you agree with that, Tony?
Yeah, now that he mentions it, I wouldn't put it as high as 80, but it could have been. I know there was a lot of them. I mean, that card.
Not that it matters, but you know, for people that are looking for the cars, like and not that I wouldn't have bought one if I saw one, you know, that was really nice. I think Ruben Schneider, little beaver tits out there, he found a gorgeous Al Kaline, the 4.5, just, I mean, beautiful SGC at a really great price too. So if I would have saw that before he did, I probably would have bought that. But yeah. I was, you know, focused on what I was focused on, and I just didn't see it. But it was, there's a lot of it out there.
I bought 2 SGC cards and 2 PSA cards.
Yeah, I bought, what did I buy? 3 SGC cards and 2 PSA cards.
Tony bought a big SGC card.
Well, we're going to get to that in a minute because there's a whole fallout from that one.
Oh, I can only imagine how to lose friends and influence people.
Hey, I mean, you never know. All right. The next question was my likelihood of attending in 2027 is because, you know, going in, there was talk, you know, Petty and I had both said a couple of times, you know, this is it. This is the swan song. Will we be back, or will this be, you know, what will happen? And of course, when you've not attended it yet, you don't really know what to think. But that said, you guys responded interestingly. Tony said very likely, and then Petty and Darren said likely. So let's start with the outlier in Tony. Why is it very likely that you attend next year versus just likely?
Because y'all are going. I mean, if y'all are going, I'm going. That's why. So you told me before we left that y'all
I'm
were
not leaving.
That's what I'm saying. As long as y'all are going, I'm going, and all the chat's going. As long as all the buds that were there this year, as long as everybody shows up and it is like it is, and if my buddy Bob's there, I'm going.
What about Bob coming out of the woodwork?
Bob just came in like a man on fire.
That guy had like 18 Ty Cobb green cards, and he liked them all. He didn't want to get rid of one of them.
Bob came in and just made a splash. I mean, that's the cool thing is when you attend something like this, it's an opportunity to meet new friends. And
he learned so much. He actually walked around with Orlando quite a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's
spent
smart.
a lot and learned a little bit of patience. I think he'll be a much better collector going forward. He's got a lot of capital now with things that he's going to want to sell and turn them into better things. And it's just, it's really neat having that impact.
That's Bob commenting right there.
Oh, is it? My
sports card hoard.
He's down to 2 Cobbs now. See, that's good.
Yeah,
he's
learning.
And I don't mind because having 2, I can, if you don't know which one's better, you got to keep them both until you can upgrade.
But
then you sell them both.
Every time you go to a show like this, you feel like you come home with a couple of new friends, and Bob definitely fits that bill for sure.
Plus he snaked me. For those that don't know, he pulled a great snake on the tab for lunch at the Red Robin. So we walk in there, we get a table for 15 or 20 people, and he wasn't even there yet. And I tell the waitress, I said, hey, make sure I get the tab. So I usually like to try to do that if I can, if I know that I'm going to pay the bill. So she says, okay, no problem. So as we're all kind of getting up, I see people are starting to stretch and ready to go and everything. I see that waitress won't come around and she's in the back. So I walk over there to say, hey, what's going on here? Where's the tippity tab? And she says, oh, that guy, some guy already paid it. I go, what? I go, what? I scared everyone. I was kidding. Like, what? Who paid? I go, I thought I told you I got the bill. She says, yeah. I go, who was it? She goes, I can't tell you. So he must have given her a big tip too, because she wouldn't talk. So anyway, I really appreciate anybody that can pull fast ones like that. That's what it takes to get the tab sometimes away from my friends too. You find innovative ways to get one over to the other guy. So we thank Bob for that. That wasn't the last time either, but very generous.
And there was a question up there. I clicked on a second ago. Oh, here it is. Outside of the friends. Now, obviously, the friends and the hangout is a big part of what we like about the show, but that's not necessarily what everybody likes about the show. Some people want to go to the show for the cards. So, from a strictly card perspective and dealer perspective, Darren, how do you put this show this year compared to last year, and then this year compared to another big show, like even compared to the National or something, just from the card perspective, not just the friend perspective?
Yeah, from the card perspective, I thought it was, I would say it was on par with last year. I mean, there were more dealers, but I think there's a lot of the bigger cards that you see a lot. There was a lot more of them there. I wouldn't necessarily say that by having more dealers, they had, a much more interesting selection of cards. I think it was similar cards that they normally would have, but you definitely would find them in a better grade range, I guess. I still think the National has a better selection of vintage, obviously, because there's more vintage dealers there. But it's if you want to go to a show and you're looking for vintage, especially if you're looking for the very popular vintage stuff, it's a great place to go, right? Like if you want a 52 Topps Mantle, there was probably like 50 of them for sale there. Ash had like 15 of them.
Well, we'll talk about him. He runs the entire shows, as you guys well know.
We can definitely talk about that. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it's about time to bring out our surprise guest. He is backstage. I do want to ask the chat if they have any guesses on who the surprise guest is. There were a couple of questions that were asked in the chat. If you ask them, I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I've started a few things, and I'm going to come back to them at the questions at the end that I think are kind of would be more of a discussion. So I will definitely talk about those. We have a lot of people. We've got David Chase as a guest. We've got Dan.
That's my guess.
I love Peter B.
We've got who did I miss on Peter B? Where's that one?
No, you have him up on the screen right now.
Dan. Oh, Dan. Yeah, we've got David, Carlos? David. We've got Mookie. We've got another Dan. We've
Jeremy Lee.
We've got Roger Clemens as a guest. That would be fantastic. David Robinson. That would be a good guest. All right, let's bring this guy out. I mean, when I look back personally on 2026, or should I just reveal it right here on the screen? When I look back on 2026, it's going to be remembered as the breakout year for somebody. Tony, do you have a guess?
David Chase?
It's David Chase. Then you've already said that.
Let's
before.
go. The Beatles haircut. Bring him out. She loves you. Yeah. She loves you.
Here we go.
Yeah,
and there he is, charter member of the Petty Posse.
With a love like that, you know it.
And with
oh my God, I cannot believe I'm on this show. The greatest rock stars of YouTube and me. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. I am so honored to be with my favorite YouTubers on one screen.
Likewise.
Well, we love you, buddy, and you brought a lot of energy to the show. You definitely added a lot of fun. If you missed out the Saturday night of Strongsville, so that would have been April 11th, the Sports Cards Live got off the hook about halfway through. David invited a couple of us up to his room to check out, to hop on to Sports Cards Live. I knock on the door. I can hear him streaming inside. Next thing I know, we've got Petty is hopping on, and Tony is hopping
hilarious.
on, and Mookie is hopping on, and Darren is sawing logs in his room. And that
Darren
was
doesn't watch
fun.
Sports Cars Live, so
Mookie came in.
He watched Saturday.
he did.
Watch the Saturday for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, David, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the MidLife Live 14. We still have people guessing. We've got Petty guest Shaq. We've got Sammy Thunder being guest, Pepino Man, my dad. It's me, but I didn't send a link. We've got all sorts of stuff happening. So I'm going to go into the
Lou
next
was going to save the show again.
Let's go to
Sorry.
Darren first. Darren, you had a huge pickup. You had several huge pickups, but I want to take a look at this pickup first. Tell us about this card and the pickup and how that transaction all played out. Because when I asked what is your biggest pickup from Strongsville, this is the card you sent. So tell us about it.
So I basically, I was looking for some vintage Cobbs. I wanted some interesting stuff. It'd be cool to, get. He has 4 different rookie cards, maybe 5. I have one. I wanted to pick up another one, and I was walking around. I remember I saw this, and for some reason I was thinking it was a Deech because it was next to a couple of Deeches. So I was walking around and I didn't buy it, and then it dawned on me that wait a second. I found the H.M. Taylor, and then I had to walk back through and re-find it. But then picked it up, and I was super excited to get it because now I have 2 different 1907 Cobbs now, so that's fun. But
It's a beautiful card, and it was on your goal list, right?
It was. I picked up 3 cards from our goal list from January at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Plus a Michael Jordan card, because I'm a modern collector now too.
Yeah,
well,
that's a beauty. That
I was watching a King of Cards last night, and he bought that exact same card at a show this last weekend. So it must be a good card.
Yeah. Must be.
Nice.
Well, it's a beautiful card. Congratulations, Darren.
Thank you.
All right. Next person is going to be Mr. Petty. And he sent me this beautiful 51 Bowman Yogi Berra, which the centering on that thing
Has centering opportunities. According to iAppeal Plus, it's only a B.
Okay.
iAppeal Inc. And it's got something wrong with it. I don't know what, but I can't find it.
Welcome, Jeremy. I've got two.
Hey, Jer.
2/5 of us was on with you on Saturday.
And
so,
Jeremy was my inspiration for this card, actually. He said, wait till I find a low grade. I was looking at like a 6 or 7 that was 3 or 4 times as much as this. So this was this, and also, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't show this. I mean, we got to show this one. And especially to Bob. I want to show this to Bob.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I want to show this to What About Bob is I traded 2. I had 2 of these. They were in a 1. They were really nice ones, but I was able to sell those and buy this. And this is just a gorgeous. So in other words, it was a 2 for 1. And that was my key pickup, really. But this one too, I really love this card.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card. The hockey card that you sent pictures of is a very cool card too.
My first hockey card, and I expect to be buying more. Well, we have to talk about Melissa too. Like, talk about a show for her.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
It's the first time I met her in person, and I mean, she bought the Bobby Orr rookie card, so that's hockey. She bought traded for the Joe Namath rookie card. With the Jordan rookie card, she got traded her 8 into a 5. And the Mickey Mantle 51. I mean, I'm sure her poor husband was arrested for vagrancy in the parking lot for maybe having like $1 in his pocket or something. But holy shit, what a show! I never seen anything like it.
She did fantastic, and
she was on a mission.
Tell me what's the name of her channel for people that aren't subscribed?
Sports Guru something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Is she in the
She's
chat
awesome.
tonight? I don't see her.
I haven't seen her yet.
She usually is, but
it was great meeting her. She was wheeling and dealing.
Yeah,
love it.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, we will go to David Chase. Let me get the thing. I got to move you up so that we can see you as you're talking here, buddy. All right, there you go. We'll move Darren down behind the logo with me. Tell us about your pickup, which I know there's been the whole thing, and again, watch Sports Cards Live over the last month and a half, and you'll hear all about this card. But that said, you had this deal prearranged with a couple of other cards, but this is a massive card, and it's got so much going for it. And
it's a beautiful
card.
example. One of the nicest 3s that definitely would get a sticker.
I
wouldn't try. Sticker? Don't you dare try, because you'll have to sell it if it doesn't get a sticker. So.
If it doesn't get one, or do I have to sell it if it does get one?
If it does get one, you won't sell it. But
but
anyway, I mean, I think it's not. I wouldn't look at it as a consolation prize. I would look at this is a real card. You know what I mean? The other one was ridiculous. It was almost like it was, I don't know, soaked, trimmed.
Okay, let's look at just for follow up. Melissa is Sports Guru 17. Great channel. Yeah, really cool lady. Check her out. Support her. David. So when you made this deal ahead of time, how far into the show was the first table you went to go to this to complete the deal, or how did that all play out? Because I wasn't there. You just ditched me.
I was there. I witnessed it.
I was there too.
Petty was there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg has to deal with fans all the time.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
To taking pictures.
You guys are insane.
It was ridiculous.
He had his own booth. Meet Greg.
Oh my God! I've never seen somebody.
Do you know where Greg is? Where's Greg? Do you know where Greg is?
I was the doorman at his booth.
He was over there where the big spotlights were going. All
right, so let me tell you about this puppy right here. So I had a 1.5 that I liked. But every time I showed it to anybody, they would talk about how it looked like it was run over by a truck, but it was centered. I liked it.
And it was a fair grade. I mean, it was a 1.5 and it was centered. It was a beautiful card in its own right, but so is this. It's just, if you could keep both of them, it would be great. But sacrifices have to be made, and that's what trading up is all about. And I really don't see this card being improved upon to be honest.
Wow.
You know, if I really don't. I mean, the
Thank
centering
you.
on this is pretty damn good. I mean, you can put it into your eye appeal and it's going to get a B.
No, it's going to get a C+ on that.
C+.
On that,
I'll give it
website.
a D with possible because it's got not enough yellow. You have yellow opportunities in that. Yellow opportunities.
I agree. All right, so here's the story of how this happened. Okay, so I was talking to a dealer, and I ended up seeing. I love these Leaf short print cards, and he had an Anus Slaughter, which is one of the cards that I needed for my Leaf short print Hall of Fame set. So I right away contacted him right when I saw it listed, and he didn't want to make a deal. He wanted to do it in cash in weird ways. And I was like, I don't trust you. I've never met you before. So he said he was going to be in Strongsville. So this was months before we made that deal in Strongsville. In the meantime, he must have watched Sports Cards Live, and he saw the Jackie journey of me losing that one, and how sad that was, and how I've been talking about it for 2 months, losing that one. So actually, he bought a crazy amount of raw Leaf cards from a woman whose grandfather died that had a shoebox of Leaf cards. And this was one of them. And he said, listen, I haven't even shown it to anybody yet. I'm going to show it to you before I send it to SGC, and I'll send it to 2 other people. Would this card interest you? And I said, hell yeah, that interests me. I love that card. So I said, but I'm not going to make a deal with you until you get it graded. I'm not smart enough to know what's trimmed and what's not, and I'm not making a deal like that. So he sends it into SGC, gets a 3. I was hoping he was going to get a 1, that was the goal. But 3's fine. 3 was probably the top of the game of what I would have ended up getting. So it came in. He talked to me about a deal. Obviously it's high because it looks very nice, but he was relatively reasonable. So we made that deal a month or 2 before. And so then it was all about me, because I don't have the money to just go buy cards like that, to consolidate my collection, sell my current Jackie to get that one, and sell. Then I started getting the fever, and I ended up selling way more cards so I can go on a beggar shopping spree in Strongsville.
Oh, and you did. Fun. You sure did.
I went crazy.
And that's something I want to talk about later in the show tonight, is some of the selling and things that has gone on. Mighty Timbers, this is a good question. I'm going to star that and come back to that in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some selling. There's been some movement. Jeremy talked about that on Saturday night. I'm actually going to pull a little clip from what Jeremy had to say on Saturday Night's Live. And I think that it's a good point, an interesting point. And no doubt selling for buying power is addictive. There is something to that. Okay, so that brings us to Tony's pickup. So let's take a look at Tony's pickup, and let's get a good look at this card and tell us the whole process of, did you see this? Because I've kind of heard bits and pieces of this from you. And you did an episode on it. If you haven't seen it yet, check out Tony's episode on the Strongsville show and this pickup and how it all played out. But did you see this card before you bought it, or was it the moment you saw it when you bought it? And then take us through the whole thing of how it all played out.
So what's the name of the dealer that was right in the middle that I bought the Gehrig from last year? Is that Tim Payne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had one. He had a 6. Off-centered 6, and he had a price sticker on it. And I've been studying about Satchel Paige because I'm going to be doing a Satchel Paige video coming up soon. And so he was on my mind, and I saw that card and I needed one. And so I walked away. It wasn't the price comparable to what I saw with the way the card presented itself to me was too high. So I kept walking, and then I go around, and the guy that it had the 9.5 mantle.
Yeah,
I walk around and I'm looking through his case, and I'd already been over there several times, and I see this one, same price, same grade, but Lord have mercy, not the same look. And I decided I needed to get this card. Well, he didn't take Venmo or anything, no PayPal. It was cash only. And I'll tell you, I mean, it was 12 grand. I brought 6, and I didn't have the other 6. So I'm standing there at the table working out a deal. Like, look, dude, I'll give you the 6. You take it home. I will mail you a check. If you want to wait till the check clears to send me the card, just take it out of your case. And David Chase overheard me say that and told me, dude, I got the money. Like, and so Chase starts counting out $6,000 right there on the cases. I'm counting out my $6,000, and I just PayPal'd him $6,000 and made him whole for that. But right after I get that bad boy in my hand, I mean, it is glorious, and the color pops. It's dead centered, and it hit me like, this looks like one of those cards I've been seeing people get these fancy stickers on. So of course Mike Baker's right over there, and I thought, why not? And so I asked David, I said, how much would it cost if I got a sticker? He goes, I mean, who knows, $250, $300. And so I said, will you go over there and help me do it? So I get over there. Of course, Dave Bowers got his cards laid out all over the place. Mine looked like a beater. He's got his 52 mantle laying there.
Probably
but
3 or
Baker,
5
in a $7.5.
Yeah, Baker takes it. He tells me it'd be about 3 hours, and 3 hours later, I go up there and it had the gold sticker on it. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool seeing that he agreed with it. I mean, obviously, I already knew it looked good, but I just wanted to see how the process worked, and
now you're hooked.
It worked. So yeah, I got the gold. So what David said a minute ago in jest is absolutely true. Like the last couple of days. Well, especially after last night's REA auction, seeing those gold sticker cards go for like quadruple comps, it's actually crossed my mind to sell this sucker and make a bunch of money and buy one that doesn't look as good. I mean, I know that's crazy.
Or try to buy another one without a sticker that does look as good.
I mean, because if I can quadruple what I paid for it and then go buy a normal one,
I think that's what David's been doing.
Take that money and buy something else. So I don't know. Yeah. It's crossed my mind.
I want to say something though about this card though, Tony. I mean, I don't know what a 10 is if this is a 6. Okay.
Yeah.
This card is
absurd.
The craziest card I have ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating. There's no better page on the planet than that card.
Why not an 8?
I've never seen one. It actually is a pretty.
What did this on the back when he writes the sticker? What did he say? A 6.5?
Yeah,
he did.
They're just saying that because it's a half a grade.
And I thought it had to be I thought the gold sticker was an extra grade though. I thought
at least
the silver was a half. Oh, yeah. So the silver grade,
the top 15% of eye appeal, and the gold is a half.
But who's to say? Who's to say that's? How does he know that's a top 15% of a 6? You know, of maybe all. I mean, of all cards,
he's probably graded more cards than anybody on the planet. But we don't have to get into that.
Okay,
but right. I'm not saying that he's right. Right. I'm just saying that when you see a card with a sticker on it, it looks pretty damn good. And I don't care.
I don't like the sticker shows on the SGC slabs like that on the small cards. I wish it was a PSA.
You hate all SGC stuff.
No, I don't. I like it. I mean, I have the bulk of my collection.
You're a PSA.
How about if it has the green slab? How about if it has the green PSA slab? Then do you like the sticker on it?
The green PSA slab.
The green SGC slab. Excuse me.
No, I want all my cards out of there except for only 1 or 2, I think, because we'll talk about it.
I have all my best cards in the green SGC slabs.
You do?
Okay.
Craig has lost control.
We're off the rails. So
Tony's card is incredible. That's what I want to say.
It is incredible. All right,
sticker
first, Darren, how are you doing on time, Darren?
5 more minutes and I got to jump.
Okay. Appreciate you hanging in there. I hate to use some of that time with this, but when I left the West Coast show, I felt like there was a certain buzz or a certain thing happening in the room, and I felt the same thing at the Strongsville show. And so I was like, was it just me? Was it somebody else? And then I was watching another channel. And this came up on that channel, and I want to play this clip, and then I want to ask you guys if you agree with this or not. So this is about 90-second clip.
Some of our sales and actually our pickups sort of roll into what I felt like was kind of the theme of the Strongsville this year. I felt like NBA Mike Baker stuff was sort of the talk. I had a lot of people asking questions about very people are skeptical about it. People were all on board. I know a lot of the dealers were, I guess they were probably about the same. There were some that were all on board, and then there were some that were a little bit skeptical of it. What were did you have sort of a similar thought as far as that being sort of a hot topic?
Yeah, I guess if I had to pick one thing that was the most common topic of conversation, it would be Mike Baker and all the different topics involved in that. So like the labels, and then their grading by itself, just the grading. Lots definitely about the stickers for both other companies, and then questions about like when they will sticker their own cards with the silver or whatever. But lots of dealers walking stuff over. They were on site doing reviews, and so you could get your cards sticker reviewed or submit them for grading on site, and they were the only grading company there. So I know at least like Tony Lieberich, Southern Collector, he picked up a really, really nice 49 Bowman page in a SGC 6, and then walked it over and ended up getting a gold sticker right after. So that's, it's convenient to have that at the show instead of having to ship a card like that all the way out to, I think they're in California, and then get it shipped back to you.
Okay, so I want to go to Darren first because he's going to probably crash out here in just a second. But Darren wasn't at the West Coast Card Show in Ontario, and the rest of us were. And it felt like the kind of buzz in the room was about the sticker process and people going and things coming back and people seeing how it went. It felt that way to me. And then it felt that way again in Strongsville. Darren, having not been to the West Coast show, did it feel like a big hub and a big kind of conversation piece was the Mike Baker booth? And is it my imagination, or did just Garrett, Gary, and me feel that way?
No, I think it was, right. I think it was. And well, let me caveat that though. I think to me it was because I was with people that were submitting and having conversations about stuff with Mike Baker, right? So to me it was, right. I went up with Dave for both times that he submitted cards, right? The first batch of the nice ones and the second batch of the not as nice Dave cards, if that's such a thing, right? And I thought it was, the process was great, right? Mike Baker literally looked at the card, like Mike Baker, the guy, right? It's not, some kid that, is making $17 an hour. It's Mike Baker, takes the card, looks at it and says, yeah, this could possibly sticker. And then you say, cool. And he steps into his little private booth thing and looks at it and comes back and, it's either got the sticker or it doesn't, right? So the process I thought was great. It was nice. I think it was nice being able to chat with the actual guy that's doing it, the guy that knows, theoretically knows what he's doing.
There's a lot of talk that Brent Mastro's doing the stickers too, his partner, and he's the guy with PWCC. So the bottom line is, look,
Mastro's, that's the guy that went to jail though, right?
No, this is actually just a nickname for Brent Huggins, the PWCC guy.
I thought he was a Marvel character, like one of those superheroes.
So that's the thing that people have is like you're putting. I mean, while it's a neat thing to have, and it's a fun little way to increase the value and everything, you are putting money into the hands of known criminals. Guys like Brent Huggins and Mike Baker. I mean, Mike Baker in the 90s, he authenticated over 1 million fake autographs with global authentication. Now, let's not kid ourselves. That's why I think Dan has such a bug up his ass. Now, now
allegedly.
It's not allegedly. I mean, if you saw the Mike Baker collection of fake autographs, it's out of control. You can still see them on eBay. And Brent Huggins, that's not allegedly. There was over 15 card doctors working for PWCC, buying the cards, trimming them, cutting out. Again, but well, that's neither here nor there. And I don't begrudge, the guy. I think what they're doing is actually, it's helping the hobby in a way, and it's not really hurting anybody, especially if you don't let it. But I mean, that's the point, is you're just recirculating criminals in the business. And that's why people are a little up in arms about it. For me, I don't care. People can do whatever the fuck they want with their money. You know that. And you guys do. And you guys can buy into it because it's, you make money on it. And people much smarter than me use them, my friend. I'm much smarter than everybody on here. The guys that I know use them.
And that's the thing, though, right? Like, if you get a sticker on a big card, the people that buy those cards have a lot of money, right? Like, when these stickered cards sell for 6-7 figures, you know, you would assume the people buying them are somewhat savvy, unless it's
they are,
unless it's Wondershine. But then,
but cool, the other thing is about his own and his own, and now he has his own. He has his own label, you know, his own grading company, and I actually want that to succeed. Because that will put you know, PSA behind the gun a little. But you know, there's also a lot of talk on Net 54 how everything on his stuff that comes up, it's old PWC stuff that's on the old you know, whatever the hell that website is. I forget somebody help me out, the website with
the forum. What's it called?
Yeah,
forum?
the forum with it that has the list of all the fake cards that were decertified. You know, those are all showing up in Mike Baker authenticated slabs, you know, so they're just all being cut out. And some of them are even saying authentic altered, and then they're graded, you know, on top of it. So, I mean, the slabs look great. Somebody made a mention, and I agree. Those gold slabs, I like them.
Blowout for him.
You know,
Thank
blowout
you.
for him. Thank you so much, Richard. I don't know why.
I got to jump here in a sec, but I might get my first stickers because some of the cards I submitted to CIA. I see Theo's here.
Well,
shout out to CIA.
Well, that's kind of cool.
They thought they were such good looking cards that they're going to submit them on my behalf to potentially get some stickers. So look for those. And
that's the same way that GM Cards was recommending to David, I think, too, right, David?
Yeah,
they did that, so that's good that they're doing that for you, and you know they'll make you a few extra dollars, so it's great. But I'm just saying that's why some people, you know, care about it or don't. But I mean, I don't care to really give them any money.
I don't think anybody cares about the sticker because they are like, wow, this sticker helps me better understand what I'm looking at. I think people care about the sticker that get the sticker because it increases the value of the card that they bought. And the people that pay up for the sticker are basically saying, hey, this does have great eye appeal because of the sticker, but people pay up for eye appeal. So this just makes the whole paying up for eye appeal more palatable.
But if I had a 4 with a gold sticker that looked like a 6 and I had to pay for a 6 or a 7, wouldn't I just like to buy a 6 that looked like a 6?
Not necessarily, right? Because you get a 6 that looks like that Hank Aaron that Greg showed earlier, right?
True, but if it looked like a 6, like a nice 6, I'd rather have that. Like, I mean,
sixes, you're going to be paying for a nice 7.5.
Right.
Or perfect corner 4 than an off-center 6.
My point is about the stickers are once I see them, I can't afford them. I need to find a card like Tony found in the wild like that. That's something, and I wouldn't have got it stickered, but in my mind, it would have been sticker worthy.
It absolutely obvious. Well,
right?
Yes. It was sticker
and
worthy.
If it would have been, and at the time it would have been sold, it might have. Tony's getting tired of that. And at the time it gets sold
by doing that.
All right.
Well, I mean, it was kind of a nice experiment, and I think, it's a good financial decision. And he's ready to sell it.
I think I'm going to go with Bob personally. My thought is this: I don't care if somebody else is down with stickers. I don't care if you want to submit your cards for stickering. I don't care if you want to buy cards with stickers or buy cards without stickers.
I don't care who owns the company and who he slept with and what he trimmed. I don't give a crap.
You don't care.
It made my card worth 4 times more than it was. So I don't care. Hate the game. Don't hate the player. So
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't know who he is.
I'm not
you
leaving.
Keep bringing up this Maestro guy. If I got to Google and figure out who this sucker is, it ain't worth my time. I collect.
You don't have to Google cards. It. He's the biggest criminal known to man.
Okay, I went in the hobby then. I don't know.
No.
Is he in prison? No. So I don't give a crap, dude.
He was.
I collect baseball cards, and you know what? That's all I care about. I'm not gonna go find some old sports card digest to look up all these old freaking stupid stories with dust all over them. I collect cards, man. Y'all can live in the past and do your crap if you want to and cry. Oh, you're putting money in the criminal's pocket. Screw that. I gave him $320, man. He put a gold sticker on my card, and I like it. So I don't care.
As long
This
as
is
you
all a
like
bunch
it.
of noise.
As long as you like it, that's all that matters.
That's
As long
right.
as you-
So
well, that
everybody
Yeah.
can talk. I don't care. It's a card, man. Dude was
with
buying.
a gold sticker. With a gold sticker.
Who gives a crap?
I think it's nice. I like it, Tony.
Thank you, Darren.
I do. I think you're in the right move. I think
David,
Patty's jealous because Patty's cards.
Because none of my fucking cards.
No, they're
get
all
gold
off
stickers.
centered.
They all suck. They all have centering opportunities. The centering
I didn't even
opportunities
put
are
my
there.
freaking wig on.
The last 3 minutes is basically the cut for next live show for the. for the
I don't
sneak
even
peek.
have to
That was
edit it.
amazing.
Yes. Oh, look at that. That's what Andrew said too.
Exactly.
Andrew, by the way, when you go missing in action, Andrew, we all miss you. I hope you
Dude.
know how much we love you, buddy.
Yes,
you
thank
are a Hall of Fame commenter, and there's no doubt about
And you
that.
are the
So-
last one that's ever going to be inducted.
All right, here's the deal.
All right,
Let's
I gotta
move
go.
this. Go, yeah, Darren.
Darren, we
love you, buddy.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for
Thanks
stopping
for having
in.
me on. It was fun.
Yep. All right, let's go to our
You were
biggest
right about-
takeaways from the show. Biggest takeaways from the show, because my takeaway was the buzz about the stickers again, and it makes me wonder, what is the booth going to be like at the National if this continues? Again, I've never submitted a card for stickers. I don't care. I do not care about the whole sticker thing. I think
Me
it's
neither.
interesting, but I don't care. Okay, Petty says his biggest takeaway from the Strongsville show, and I'm going to read it for those listening, not watching. It says, lots of people have do-re-mi, and the YouTube community is extremely generous. For those that need translation, what are you talking about?
They have there's a lot of money out there in the community, and everybody is extremely generous. I mean, the gifts going back and forth, and the just the camaraderie and all. And I mean, I never received so much love out there. I mean, from the people just telling us that they love Tony and Tony's show and watch us out. I'm sure Tony heard it a lot too.
They might not now. After
Oh shit, are you kidding? But
If someone doesn't like you because you got a sticker put on your card, then they never
okay.
liked you.
Well, I just
I
went
could-
crazy.
I mean, but who really cares? And you said you were going to break that wig out.
Yeah, I had it. I had it on standby.
You had it on standby. That thing is, you need to wash that mop. But anyway, no, I mean, the generosity was just amazing. Some of the gifts were just, really too much.
All right. Let's go to the next one, which is Darren, and he's gone. He says the hobby seems strong. Lots of buying. Prices are still high. Well said. Let's go to David Chase. He's next up. He says it's hard to find high eye appeal cards, even at a big show, that are priced or reasonably priced. Tell us what you mean by that, even though I think it's self-explanatory, but share your experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just always looking for the cards like what Tony ended up buying, right? And preferably in as low of a grade as possible, just so it can be relatively affordable. But it is just it's harder and harder to find them. And when you do find them, they're a lot of times 3 times the price. And if they have a sticker on it, there might be 4 times the price. So it's hard to find, but you can find them as you kind of dig in and do your thing. So it's part of the treasure hunt, and that's part of the fun of going to these shows is to uncover those kind of cards that are just not easy to find.
And they were being uncovered too. I mean, it wasn't easy, and prices be damned. I mean, one way or another, forget the reasonably priced, but it was fun trying.
It absolutely felt like the high eye appeal cards were at astronomical prices. And in some cases, when I would make a second loop through or a third loop through, you'd go back, and those are the cards that were gone. The cards that I felt like were selling were the overpriced high-end cards, not the regularly priced kind of cards. The high-end stuff is the stuff that was moving despite the high prices. Do you think do you agree with that, David?
100%. And that's why it's funny to me when some people are like against the eye appeal revolution. Good. You guys are lucky that you don't have to the craziness that I have to deal with to overpay for these stupid cards, right? That I'm paying way more than what the grade is worth, because you can still find that card in a 2 that looks like a 2, and you can pay 2 prices or lower. Really, when we're talking about the high pricing cards, it's the ones that look super nice. And I'm jealous of people that don't care. I really, it's a burden when you care too much about it. And, that's why, like, some people that get upset about these things, make your life easy and don't care as much about dumb things like perfect center. I mean, for me, I'm so weird that if it's even centered just a tiny bit, I'm looking to upgrade that card, even if the rest is beautiful. And it means that I'm absolutely crazy. So, I can understand that.
And the reason I think that this is important to talk about what David's talking about here and his takeaway is because there's this whole ecosystem of online card selling. And then there's this, and we have all those comps. We have all that data. You can go to Card Ladder, promo code MidLife, and you can do that and you can see what things sold for. But there are so many sales happening in private transactions at card shows, on Facebook, wherever it is, that you don't know about. So all you can have are reports of what was happening at the show. And this is a place where there's a congregation of a high traffic of high-end vintage cards. And there's no doubt about it that at this show, the high-end cards, the high eye appeal cards, despite their high prices, were selling for really high amounts, and they were selling. And so my takeaway when I go home is, man, if I see something online and it's a high eye appeal card and it's like 110, 115, 120% of the upper end of comp, that's actually a reasonable price.
They're getting 150 or, close to double, on some of the, like a 4 is getting 6 prices.
I want to talk about that for 1 second, which is it's an interesting topic. So the problem with a lot of these grades is that it's such a big difference between the grades, right? A PSA 2 to a PSA 3 in an iconic card can be a $3,000 difference on certain cards, okay? So by you paying a 2, that's $1,500 more, is still less than a PSA 3. That's average. So that's why, because we're paying for the slab and what the number shows, that's why it's sometimes okay to overpay. I know there's extreme examples like that Jackie one, but I'm talking about in generalities to pay 30% more, which is still less than the higher grade. That's why people like me still think that it's relatively worth it to do that. It's not always worth it to pay a 1 that's a 5 price. I get it. That's psychotic, which only somebody like me would do in certain circumstances. But when you're paying a 2 that's a 2.5 price, it's reasonable because you're not going to find another 2 that looks like that. And if you find a 3 that's like that, it's going to be the price of a 4.
And sometimes the corners, look like the 3 or a 4, but just the whole a card with a 4 grade and 4 corners look pretty damn nice to the naked eye. They'll look like a 6, and and if you pay a little bit more, under 100 magnification or something like that, you're going to see the fray. But who gives a shit? I mean, when the card looks that nice, you pay a little bit more for it and just move on. And then like you said too, that's one less card that you're looking to upgrade. And however you win or lose and whatever, who gives a shit? You got the card, it's a beautiful card and makes you happy, and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Tony's comment. Tony says, if you're listening at home, museum prices on cards, amazing community. I mean, it feels like you agree with what we're all saying, what everyone's been saying the last few minutes about the prices were high. But I mean, even you admitted that the satchel that you bought was a really high price for the card, but then you still bought it. And in hindsight, you probably got a good deal on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the prices were high, but, we can get into why they're high at shows now, because they've already been sold to each other, to dealers 3 times before we get a chance to buy them.
That's a good segue.
But yeah, that's absolutely what's going on.
We could definitely talk about that.
But anyways, yeah, the prices were high. I wasn't really in a buying mode until I saw that one, and then
So that's good. Me too.
Okay. Let's start that segue right here then. The segue being, where's the best place to buy cards? Because, you know, there's pros and cons to buying online. There's pros and cons to buying at a show, a private deal, other. And let's face it, if you're one of the 198 people that are currently in this room, and you're interested in adding cards to your collection, then you want to add cards. So where should you be doing it? And I think that there's a lot of experience on this panel of buying cards. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. Trust me. So let's just start here. The best place to buy cards that's the question. The best place to buy cards. The options were card shows, auction houses, private deals, and other. Nobody has given me any love for the amazing David.
What's
Chase
my symbol?
logo.
What is that?
I was just going to say it's beautiful. I thought it was David's.
Your symbol is there's a show called Paw Patrol, and on Paw Patrol, the little police officer dog, his name is Chase. So I thought that it was, appropriate. All right, so how did you all answer?
It's better than this ugly mug, so I'll take it.
Darren says the best place to buy cards is at card shows. Maybe this is why he got off the stream early, is because he didn't want to have to defend that.
I wish, but
you guys all said private deals. So let me start with you, David. Why is Darren wrong?
Darren's completely wrong. No, I mean, the more you know in the community, the better. You're going to get the best deals from people that you know. And even dealers, as crazy as this sounds, when you start a relationship with them, will give you better deals. And I mean, there are some of the biggest dealers that are known to have museum prices that know what I look for. And my first Jackie that I ever received, I ended up looking for that card for 2 years when one of the biggest dealers reached out to me the second they got it, because they knew I was looking for a centered version of it. Yeah, they charged me an arm and a leg, so that's why they probably like me. But getting private deals and having relationships and talking to people at shows and talking to dealers and getting them on Facebook and things like that, you will probably get a better deal than if you buy it on eBay, and definitely at these crazy auction houses besides CIA, which, okay, we all love them. But the REAs and the Heritages of the world, these prices are crazy. And with buyer's premium and taxes, you're psychotic to be paying those kind of prices. But they have the one-of-a-kind cards that you can't find anywhere else. So I understand that point too. You just would rather your friend have it instead.
Yeah. Tony, what are your thoughts on this?
Some of the best cards in my collection were from private deals. You know, people, because I put myself out there on YouTube and Instagram, people know what I collect. And they'll just reach out to me and say, I've got this card. I know this is something you talked about. And my Josh Gibson, several of the signed Jackie Robinson cards. I mean, just stuff like that. I wouldn't have the opportunity. And then, you're not paying the big taxes and all the other stuff that goes along with it. So yeah, I enjoy the private deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. TJ has been the in-between guy on a couple of them.
Yeah. And Petty, your thoughts on our card shows the wrong place? I mean, Darren's not here to defend himself, so just
no. None of those. The thing is none of those answers are wrong. Right. I mean, it's all where you find it, but there's just something special about selling a card to somebody in the community. Number one, it's easy. Number two, you give the person a little bit better deal, especially if you need the money to turn it into something else, and there's no need to put the pedal on somebody's neck for a fucking extra $100 or something. There's just not.
Well, the other deal is
we're not dealers.
If we sold it to a dealer, we'd get 80%. So if you sell it to a buddy, if you sell it to a buddy at 95%. You're getting more money and they're getting a better deal. So
look, every good deal is what we call a win-win. Okay. It's
Yeah.
when the seller wins and the buyer wins. Now, when we're buying from dealers, we don't always get a win-win. We mostly get they win and we get kicked in the nards. But, you know, who am I to, you know, sometimes it works.
Freaking Dean defending his brother who's not here. What is that all about, Dean?
One thing
Place, not the best deal.
that Petty's saying, which also you have to be a little careful with, and I had this conversation with Mr. Petty, which is why he was joking in the chat about it. Sometimes we're all friends with each other. Sometimes you give such a good deal that it actually hurts you a little bit. And that can also be, I know that that's not a popular thing to say, but, you know, Mike Petty has some very, very big cards that he might be unloading. And
I mean, I
give
gave
him for
Bob,
70%.
but Bob came up to me. You know, what about Bob, our buddy, trying to get
Right there on the screen.
And he showed interest in a couple of cards that at the time, I think I had like 4 cards left. They were a couple of the bigger ones, and they were pretty rare, all in all. You know, you don't see them every day. And I tried, you know, I wanted to oversell them to him and show them, you know, this is why this one is worth more than that 6, you know, that you see, because that's a black swamp. And this one was one of the original cards, you know, so you're educating them a little. And then, and why I even sold them or why they were even available, I have no fucking idea. They should have never been, to be honest. But, you know, and I had some pretty, I had dealer prices on them. But just for a guy like that who showed nothing but, you know, just extreme generosity the entire time, and he's just, you know, I want him to enjoy them, and still I still made a couple $100. I've had those cards for years, you know, so it's like I share in my, you know, what I made along the way in the hobby, and he's able to have a little sweat equity in it immediately and not pay taxes, not have to bid, and have some really rare, some really nice cards. And that's what I think. Tony sold me, you know, one of my best cards, probably one of the top 10 cards in my collection, which is that, you know, the Mantle Stallmeyer that I basically forced you to buy. I told you to get in there, fatso, and buy that fucking thing. Buy it now. I mean, I don't care what you have to. I remember I told you, talk tough, 11,000. And then you said, what happened? I paid full price. Okay. You were really tough on him.
Yeah.
But I ended up with that card, and that card will not leave my collection, you know, no matter what. And so to me, you know, because I know how hard that was, but I would have never saw that card if it wasn't for our friendship. You know, so these kind of things, and you offered to give it to me for, you know, we've talked about this for, well, I paid this for you don't have to tell me that. But I said, I can't do that. I said, I have to pay you $1,000 more.
Yeah, that was okay.
And that was okay with you.
I'm glad Tony does that for you, because Tony usually sells his cards to Ash, and then I buy them for 40% more. It's exact same cards, so.
Well, okay.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Lou Rock's comment, and let's talk about the whole concept of selling. And we also have to keep in mind that we have an employee of CIA in the.
And that got big money, and wait till you see this month. I got another comment.
All right, so let's take a look at the really the last topic, and I really think there are 2 pieces to this. A, selling cards at all, and sort of how we feel about selling cards. But first, if we sell, where exactly is the best place to sell them? And, you know, again, we have 4 options, and we have different opinions. So let's take a look. I know where Theo is rooting, but and one person went his route, and it's this. It's, you know, David Chase says other, Darren says auction houses, and Tony and Petty say private deals. Now, to Darren's defense, and you know, pro Theo, it's really convenient to be able to just find an auction house you trust, ship them a box of cards, and then wait for your money to show up. Like, that's really, really convenient.
It's been great.
And at times, you know, it was mentioned in the chat earlier about provenance, about who's owned the card before. I mean, I have a couple of cards in my collection that were Petty's, a couple of cards in my collection that were Tony's. You know, I don't have anything from David because he just, you know, I don't know what his deal is. But the point that I'm
They're
making
too good.
is
You can't afford them. They have gold stickers all over them.
I've tried to buy Greg's cards. He's offered them to me, and then he pulls it away 24 hours later.
Tony does that. That's a regularity.
Oh, we can talk about that in a minute too.
Teddy, only both of us, right? We hold our word. But
So private
California.
Deals,
I mean,
private deals is the
SoCal.
no-brainer response. So Chase, what's the other that we're not thinking of? Are you talking about like Facebook
Street
Marketplace
corners.
or something?
Street corners.
Street corner. I probably have a little bit of a different scenario that the way I do it. I became so in Southern California before I ever met the Mike Petty, the greatest YouTuber in history. I ended up when I would walk around shows, I didn't have very many friends, okay, that I'd walk around in Southern California, and I became friends with the dealers, okay? And one of the friends I made, his name is John Irwin, and he allowed me because he liked my eye appeal cards. I mean, this is like a crazy situation which he allowed me to do, and I don't even know if I should be saying this publicly, but he ended up saying, David, you can put cards in my case because it actually brings eyeballs to my other cards, and just tell me what you want to sell them for.
Yeah, he's really a neat guy. I'm glad you introduced him to the group too. I really like him. And I didn't realize he does shows down here 20 minutes from me in Woodland Hills, and you were there.
Yeah. So we're going to go together, by the way. The next one, you and I are going together. So he started doing that for me, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I sold tons of cards like at the West Coast Card Show. And then the other way that I do it, which is not the way I like the most, even though this is the way you guys like it, because I feel like negotiating with friends is also a little bit tough to do, even though I would love to see them in their hands.
Shouldn't be that much negotiation. I mean, a friend should tell them this is how much I'd like for the card, and then the other friend either takes it or says like why even at that point, either you take it or you don't, and that's what I've always done. It's a good point. I've always, what I mean, for me anyway, but I don't know how everybody else.
You haven't seen David negotiate.
Oh, I know. He's a ball buster.
Oh my God.
I never bought anything from him. That's why.
I'm taking him the next time I buy a car. David's coming with me. I'm going to fly him to Nashville. I'll get that car dirt
like
cheap.
I said, he's my agent for selling. He's the guy that drives the bargains.
No one's buying a Petty card without going through me. Exactly. All right. So here's the thing, right? So I did post things on Facebook before the National and before Strongsville just to say, hey, if you're going there, I'm not shipping a card. I don't want to deal with that crap. I don't want to deal with going to the mailbox, have somebody tell me the card didn't get there. That's too much of a headache for me. I'm scared to do that. So I would do all cash transactions. But then my other situation would be if they don't sell those two ways is to consign them. And I think that consigning the cards that once you've made one or two efforts, you're going to get the best kind of deal. So it's a little combination of everything that I try to do just to move along cards and to make some money for the next purchases. This is not to make money. This is just to change for your collection.
And I think I haven't sold cards to the extent that Tony has. Tony has sold some like really expensive high-end cards, like to either dealers or to collectors. Whereas I'm just kind of starting a little bit to there, and I've never really co-signed or consigned $10,000, $20,000 cards to a auction house yet. I don't really feel comfortable right away doing that to CIA, though I will say I have an 8-month relationship with them that has been nothing but 100% positive. From $50 to $2,000, cards. Amazing. I mean, great service. And I'm sure I would, when it comes to that point where I'm ready, because I mean, next month I heard, and we've seen some of the cards that they have, they're upping their game a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be willing to deal on the percentage a little bit when you're over a couple $1,000s, So.
All right. I want to talk a little bit more about not the actual process of selling, but the whole mentality of, okay, I'm willing to sell, because something that the three of you and Darren have been doing more of recently is starting to kind of let some stuff go. Myself as well, as I've cut deeper into my collection over the last 4 months than I ever had in what I was willing to let go of. And I think the three of you have as well, as has Darren. And that came up on Saturday night when David and Darren were on Sports Cards Live. And so I wanted to show a brief clip because I thought it was a really, really good question that Jeremy Lee asked. And I want to kind of pose it to you guys. So this is about a 40-second clip.
And how did that feel like the first time? Because I think that when you're a collector and you just hold cards you never sell, and you might think, I don't want to sell my cards. And you might take pride in saying, I've never sold a card. I only buy cards. I'm not saying you, but some people, we've heard that tone before. But then you sell a card. Did that kind of open up a new synapse in your brain? Did it send like, electrical pulses through different routes in your brain to get you to kind of realize or to open up your mind to a different way of proceeding in the hobby?
Okay, so I thought that was a really well-phrased question. And Bob, in the comments earlier, said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, of selling cards from your collection to buy new cards is fairly addictive, and it's a great way to use card capital. And when you look at your collection, there are some cards that you're in love with for a long time, and then you kind of start to move in a different direction. And Darren has been selling a lot lately. And David, I think you said going into Strongsville, you said you sold a third of your collection going into the Strongsville show. And I know Petty's been selling more than buying it. The last couple of shows I've been at with you, you've definitely come home with more money than you went with. And Tony has, famously been making these big moves of taking cards. Not that he doesn't like the cards, but I like this card more than I like these cards, and kind of parlaying these things into this. So I guess I just want to kind of go around the horn and ask, like, was that a difficult kind of obstacle to get yourself to that point of, I think I'm ready to start letting stuff go, sort of like Jeremy just asked? And have you regretted it? Have there been cards that you've sold and you go, man, that one I probably shouldn't have? Like, or have you gone, no, I don't miss them. The thing I got now, I like so much more than what I gave up, that it doesn't hurt nearly as much to give those things up than if you just sold them and you just had cash back. So, Petty, I'm going to start with you. Take me through the mental process of letting go of cards for you over the last few months.
It's very, thanks so much for asking that, because it's a great question. I think I can really help the chat here a little. Darren had a good point that as you get along, so I'm about 6 to 8 months into it, of like trying to pare down my collection a little bit. And as you get going, it's a little bit harder and harder each month, coming up with do I really want to get rid of this? Do I really? But what I've been finding is it opens up opportunities to upgrade. Mm-hmm. And so like you look at a certain card in a different way. Well, I've had this card for 15 years. It's nice, like it's got great corners. It's got a great grade. I really love it. It's been part of my collection and part of my soul, and it speaks to me. But you know what? Maybe I can sell it. Maybe I can make $200 on it, and maybe I can buy another one in a lower grade for $100 or $125. And that's what I've been finding more fun right now during this time where prices have been going up, much like I did during the pandemic when I was not buying $10 and $20 and $30,000 cards. I was buying raw cards, and I was buying Kellogg's. I was buying offbeat cards and raw, a lot of raw cards, things that were just fun again, So, and I know like Dylan, I see him on the screen, and I know, and Adam, like they haven't been buying for the last 3 to 4 months, taking their eBay lists and just, blowing them up and everything, because the prices have been out of control. But that's what I've done to increase the joy in my hobby. And it's really made a big difference in my collection, I think. And for my personal enjoyment. That's all I can really tell you. I mean, I just enjoy it much more, harder though each month to come up with something.
I think that this is a process that a lot of us have a hard time starting And then once you kind of try it and you start it, and I think David, you were on with him, but I feel like Darren said something along the lines of it kind of felt freeing when he finally decided to sell some cards. It felt like a relief of, oh, like this is okay, and I'm not miserable about it, and now I can take these things that I like and go get some things that I love. And having just sold a third of your collection, is that kind of how you feel, David? Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what is your take on that?
100%, exactly what you just said. I think I was talking to somebody, and it kind of came out where I have a lot of cards that I like that I would love to sell them and get cards that I love. That's kind of the way that it is. For me to figure those cards out, what I do is I was told by Mr. Mike Petty to get a scanner. I scanned all my cards in there, and while I'm watching TV or hanging out, I'm nerdy. And instead of me going through my cards because that's so bulky and everything, I like to just flip through my iPad and look at them. And man, I marvel
and it's fun
at some
to
of
put
them.
them into the scanner. They look great,
right?
And or not.
They're big.
And it takes time up. It's like you're still enjoying the hobby, but you're
Totally.
not spending thousands of dollars every minute.
And you're not like having to go through slabs or going through a safe or going to a safety deposit box. They're just right there. And it's kind of interesting because your brain starts to as you're looking at the cards, you start flipping through some faster than others. Oh yeah, there's that one. There's that one. Well, the cards that you're flipping through so fast, maybe you don't care about them as much as you were, right? And the ones that you're marveling at, you're like, man, I love that. And then there's some cards that you're like, I like that card, but man, I hate the centering on that. I really wish that it was upgraded, and I want to upgrade that card. And sometimes
it's a
I'm
7.
like,
and
right?
Dylan went through this 3 years ago. Like, he was, and I said I would never do this because I thought it was too much work.
It's not too much work. You can do it in small pieces.
It's fun.
All at once.
One of the things I like most about Card Ladder is the collection piece. Because they're, like we were saying earlier, it's my card. And so there are times where instead of literally getting my case out and pulling the cards out, I just will want to look through some of my cards, and I just pull the card up and I literally pull it up on the screen, and there's my 84
$99% of the time, this is what I'm doing. And that's where I love the
and it's
app.
so easy to scroll. And then it's also interesting because you go, oh wow, look at what the chart has done on that card. That card's gone up 20% over the last 3 months. That's interesting. Not that it's going to make me sell it.
Profit, right, Tony?
So
potential
all right,
profit.
Tony, we've not gotten to you yet. Tell us your thoughts on this and your kind of trading up, because you've been an ultimate consolidator. I mean, you've got like literal museum quality stuff.
Big inspiration too
for some
for
other really great stuff. But have you regretted many of the moves that you've made? Have you looked back and gone, that one I should have done that one, or I should have done that one? Like, what's your mental process in processing through this whole system that you've been doing over the last few months?
No, I don't regret any of them. I missed some of them. Don't mean I regret it. It means that maybe time down the road, I'll maybe want to add another one. But then with the prices going up the way they are, and I know what I paid the first time, it makes it harder to pull the trigger on it again. But, the first big consolidation I did was when I got that phone call and the guy wanted to sell me the Josh Gibson, and he needed an answer quick. And I knew there was only about 30 of those in the world. And in order to come up with that amount of cash, I could go through and sell 50, 60 cards, or I could sell 3 big cards, and the 52 mantle had to go. And once I sold my lifelong Grail card, after that, everything was up for grabs, because then, like when somebody contacted me and I had the 1950 Bowman Jackie, this again, private deals, I then open up my card ladder and I go, okay, he wants the X for it. If I put this in it, and I'm picking cards off my card ladder inventory and I'm writing them down, like I could possibly get rid of this. And then you just do the math and go, all right, if I sold, and honestly, it kind of surprises you sometimes. You're going, wow, I can do this. Now, my thing, it ain't a rule, but you know, everybody has little rules inside their collecting. My thing is, I will let go of things if I can find them in the room at Strongsville. If I can find them again that easy, then what the big freaking deal, man? Sell them and go get this thing that I can't. There weren't any signed Jackie Robinson at Strongsville. There weren't any Josh Gibsons in Strongsville. Maybe I saw one signed Michael Jordan card in Strongsville, but you know, you don't see those every day. So if I get rid of stuff that I can go on eBay and buy, yeah.
I think that what you're describing is sort of where I got to as well, is the cards that I know I can re-find. Those cards become almost like disposable to me, because it's almost like an economic principle of, you know, there's an easy alternative, therefore the value can't be that high. But when there's something that there's
I'll
not
find
an
it
alternative,
again, like you did with that Satchel Paige. You had one.
The reason that healthcare is so expensive is because there's not an alternative. When you need a heart transplant, you need a heart transplant, and you'll pay whatever it is, because there's only one of that. But a thing that you can go get a Band-Aid, or you can get the knockoff brand of Band-Aid, that's going to be cheap. And it seems like a simple principle, and it is a simple principle, but that has been freeing for me, is that when I say goodbye to some cards, it's like, it's easier to say goodbye to the card that I know I could just get back. And that's why, like, if you look at my Strongsville pickups, like, I've been looking for a really good Cy Young T206 portrait for a long time. And the one that was available to me, you just don't find them that look like that. You can find a 2.5, but you can't find a 2.5 that looks like that. You can't find an SGC5 of that Blackbeard card. So I was willing to sell stuff that I could get back to get this thing that doesn't come up very often. And I do want to circle back, because before, I mean, we're getting long, and we'll go a few more minutes, but not a ton longer. I do want to hit a couple of questions, but I also want to circle back to this, because I mean, sure, I'm sponsored by Card Ladder. I've said that a million times. Promo code MidLife. I've said that a million times. And we're talking about one of the best features of Card Ladder is being able to, and when I got Darren to switch in Strongsville, he starts loading his cards and he goes, wait a second, this is actually my card, because he had VCP. In VCP, there's like a holder place card. It's like an example of that card. But in Card Ladder, when you load the card in, it's your card. It's a picture. It's your picture of your card.
You could add your own card. So according to David, you can on your own.
You can scan them,
or even better, and you can put your own scans in there, and they look better.
And to me, I think that's it's a game changer. Mookie just said something a second ago before he was talking about knockoff Band-Aids or something. He said it felt like he was Peter Parker after a spider bite. I mean, I really believe in it, and I know
that's
that people will give me crap, and they'll say, "Oh, well, you say that because you're a sponsor."
You know what?
I want to make this one last point. Hold on, Petty, one second. I want to make this last point. I feel like I only align myself with companies that I actually believe in, and Card Ladder really is an awesome product. It really is an awesome product, and I do appreciate them sponsoring this episode and everything. But they're an awesome product. So, Petty, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry too. But that's what I wanted to say too. Like, you know, I talk a lot of shit about these new companies here and there, but I mean, it was a game changer for the way I looked at my collection, all in all. And I've talked to you about it. You've seen me up and down with my moods here and there in the last couple of months. A lot of it has to do with that Card Ladder, and just the way I look at my collection differently, with the potential profit. And, you know, for whatever it's worth, you can say it's shallow or what, but I mean, I like the way that you can look up your cards. I like the way the cards go up, they go down. You can put, you can put the values in based on the last card sale, automatic, or in the index. In other words, if the card doesn't sell once every year or 2 or 3, you put it with the card sale plus the index, and if the index is up, the card goes up. If the index is down, the card goes down. So I kind of like that, whether it's true or not. I don't.
Why would
really
that
care.
make you moody? You just said you were moody about.
Well, you know, I was moody. I was. You know, you saw me how I was. I mean,
But
I was.
of that, what's the reason?
A lot of that had to do with it. I mean, when I saw the values in there on Card Ladder, when you see the numbers that I'm seeing on my collection, and then the things that are going on in my life, and I'm nearing retirement on fucking Medicare, you know, next month. I mean, yeah, it's an eye opener. So
you're saying that it sometimes seems crazy the value of these cards that we purchase.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and I never thought much about it before because I just bought them willy-nilly because I loved them. I had the money. It was extra capital. Whereas a lot of people like at your ages, you guys are all in your 40s still. I didn't have a pot to piss in when I was your age. So I see you guys out there, and Tony, you're a little bit older, a little bit more established since you were a younger kid. You know, you started, but a lot you probably feel the same way I do about these guys in their 40s. I mean, you know, they're collecting cards like I've never seen before. You know.
All right, I want to hit a couple of questions that I started a while ago, and Mighty Timbers asked this a couple of times. I think he also asked it in a Q&A, and I didn't use it, but I recognize it. Would we ever consider doing a Midlife Live from next year's Strongsville? I'm always open to anything. I'm always open to anything. The problem is, like, it's fun to hang out, but it would be tough to capture what you see right now if we were next to each other. So
everybody in the chat would be there.
Yeah, we'd have to go to our rooms and separate to be able to have this orientation. So there are about 2 weekends a year I actually get to hang out one-on-one with my buddies, and I would prefer to hang out with my buddies then and then do these on other weekends. That's kind of my take. David, there was a question earlier before you hopped on asking about, like, where the hell did you come from? All of a sudden you're on everything.
Well, he spent the day with Mike Petty, and that was all she wrote.
Do you want to tell people real quickly, like, when 2026 fireworks went off and you were shot out of a cannon and you're just soaring like the great Gonzo over the world, like, what exactly happened? How did you just go to become like a superstar?
First of all, I mean, give me a break. But I get your point, even though that's the craziest way to ask that question. All right, I had 2 things that happened to me in my life, okay, to get onto YouTube. Number one, I was at the West Coast Card Show, and I'm looking at a Larry Doobie 48 Leaf card, and I hear the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Petty behind me, laughing and having a good time. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, and by the way, at that time, like, he was probably one of the only people that I was paying attention to on YouTube. And I was like, oh wow, that's Mike Petty. I started a conversation with him, and like, he's just the coolest, greatest person of all time. I love the guy. We started having a good time. We just totally connected. We became friends right away. We walked through a card show, and I became friends with him. So this panel of the people that I met here, it's all because of Petty. He ended up inviting me to the dinner that you guys had at the last West Coast Card Show. You guys were both there. We had brief conversations kind of thing. And from there, you guys caught me doing the Mike Baker stickers, and I became the sticker guy for a little while. I was the face of Mike Baker stickers, unfortunately, from Greg's video. So that kind of brought me into Greg's side. The other side of it was when that 48 Leaf Jackie came out, that PSA 1, I was a big fan also of Sports Cards Live and Jeremy Lee. And what I did was before that card was on my radar and anybody knew about it, I asked Jeremy Lee in the chat, because I'm a nerdy chatter, and I said, if you ever found, because he would talk about how much he loved his Jackie Robinson card, and I said, if you were to find a lower grade that was better than that, would you ever trade it? And he said, hell no. I love that card. I would never trade that card. So when that PSA 1 came up, I wasn't going to talk about that with anybody in the hobby. But then what happened was I was like, you know what? Jeremy Lee is never going to go for that card because he loves his Jackie. So I ended up just sending him an email, and we just corresponded back and forth about that card. And then he told me he's going for that card. So he totally he switched on me, but then he didn't end up going for it. But it was funny. And before we never even spoke, it was just on email. He was like, dude, I'm going to have you on my show. And I was like, oh, wow. And he's just like, I just love the way you're thinking about buying it and the way that you connect. We started talking at West Coast Card Show at the Petty Dinner also, and went on the show, told my story about trying to get that Jackie and probably me being like the loser story that came out. Probably people resonated a little bit because I didn't get that card. I had a weird situation come up, which you can watch an Old Sports Card Live to see it. And just Jeremy and I, like, you know, we just like became like fast friends and started talking outside of the channel.
You said on Saturday he was your favorite person.
Well, I'm on his show every week. This is my first time on your live, Greg. So you're starting to move up on in the world, okay? I mean, Greg, you are my second favorite Greg to walk on this earth. So you should feel very proud of that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, nobody beats Greg Brady, obviously, but you're right behind him.
Greg Brady. Marsha.
I love listen. Okay.
Now let me ask you a quick follow-up.
So that's where it came from. It kind of came from both directions.
Let me ask you a quick follow-up.
Yeah.
January 2026 was before any of that happened. Compare your experiences in this hobby of January 2026 to April 2026, 3 months later. How much different is your energy in the hobby, your experience in the hobby, your connection with the hobby? How has it changed in the 3 months from being quote unquote unknown to where you are now? How much has it changed?
I'm still unknown. All right. I'm just a nerdy collector.
Bro, I saw people come up to you. They're like, Greg, get out of the way. I need to see David at the Strongsville show.
Yeah. Greg has a line of people everywhere he goes and people dropping rose petals as he walks.
Oh, he was a busy author. Giving away free shirts, free books.
But quickly, how's it different? Because I have one more topic I want to cover.
Okay. It's completely, I mean, it's as cheesy as this sounds, it's like a little emotional even, you know, like it is crazy what has happened to me over these last few months. And it just really just shows the craziness and the compassion and the love and how sweet so many people are in this hobby. I'm a nobody. Okay. And all of you guys are like, you know, the content creators that I love. I really do. All of you, right? Like Tony, Petty, Greg, Darren, that's on, Jeremy Lee. Those are like my favorite shows that I had. And it's crazy that like sometimes, you know, when I go to Strongsville or when I've been to places and stuff, some people big time you a little bit, you know, but not these guys. These guys like literally take the time and talk to every person. And it just is
hey, we're all just really collectors. We're all the same. We're all anal eddies in our own way.
There are YouTubers that were big timing people in Strongsville.
No. There were a little bit.
All right. Next question that I want to cover. Andrew, I appreciate everything you just said. But yeah. Andrew says, because I titled this episode like a week ago. I was like, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, well, we could talk about the thing that Petty alluded to earlier about how dealers are buying from dealers and then selling to us. And I kind of talked about it in my service issues episode with Junk Wax Hero Mike. And he shared a story about there was some cards in a dealer's case that had stickers on them. And he was like, hey, I'm interested in that card. And he goes, well, that's not my price. I bought them at that price a couple of tables over. I haven't put my price on it yet, which is obviously going to mark it up. Tony, we haven't heard from you in a minute. How prevalent is that, and how responsible for the increase in pricing that's happening right now is that, do you think?
So it's kind of a double-edged sword. We expect the dealers to have top-notch stock, right? Well, how they get stock? You know, it doesn't just fall off the card tree. They got to go find it. Where's the easiest place to find it? At other dealers. You know, there's not people just walking in with shoe boxes of cards saying, hey, will you buy my collection? And it be Ashworthy.
Put the wig on, would you, when you talk that way?
So Ash, you know, he's got to go around and find stuff. So does, you know, Garrett. That's where they buy their cards. Now, you can't blame them, but at the same time, they have to mark them up. So, that becomes an issue when you're in a buying mode. You're buying a card that's already been marked up 3 times. That sucks, man. But people are buying them or they wouldn't do it, so, I don't know. Best World, they would go on eBay and try to snipe cards under comps, and they'd go on, try to find the hidden gem in the auction house stuff, but there ain't none. So what are they supposed to do? I mean,
yeah.
I could do a minute on this. So
yeah, I mean, all right, everybody, take a deep breath. Do you want to take a pill before you go after it, Petty? Because we're about to hear
Let me
some
see. I can
epic
stuff.
I
got a couple.
Do I need to start the clock?
He just took the medicine.
Do I need to start the clock?
No clock.
Okay,
No.
okay.
All right.
I know we're nearing the end here, but I just can do a quick minute, and it's not bad. But I will say, so one of the most respected dealers is Ash, and I just love this guy since the time I met him. And but what he does is he does go around and he runs these card shows, as you well know. He doesn't just sell at his table. He goes around to every table and knows who has what card. What I loved about Ash and what he was doing is I saw him. Somebody came up and they were looking for like a particular Mickey Mantle card, and he had 2 or 3 of them in his case there at the time. And he said, you know what? This guy over here, blah, 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 that dealer, he's got one that you should look at. Like, I couldn't buy it, but you might be able to. So in other words, like, he couldn't come to an agreement, but it was good enough for him to get it. And he basically, sent the guy over to another dealer to go buy the card and said, hey, maybe that's more like in your speed. And what I like that about him. But yes, these dealers do that. And there's nothing we can do about it. There was nothing we could do about it. And as they would say in the Goodfellas, there was nothing we could do about it. But he's just going to do it. So you can buy the cards from, where you find them and just enjoy the damn cards. Let the dealers. Garrett is learn from Ash. He's out there on the floor all the time, picking up the best cards he can at the best price he can for his clients. And that's pretty much what it is. I mean, and I appreciate them. You can get a nice card from Garrett. You can get a nice card from Ash. But Ash, like I say, he runs the entire show, I feel, because he knows who's got what. And he's not afraid to send you over to another table to find the card you like. And it's kind of a neat thing, all in all. I don't want to say they're not ripping us off. You've got to pay somebody a 10 or 15% fee for finding you the right thing. Whether it's a card, a sofa,
there's another way of
house.
looking at this too, though. We're looking at it from the end user perspective, which is, man, if they're buying it from each other and then they're marking it up, then I'm going to have to pay more. But part of what this is telling me is that if you have a good eye, like Ash, you can go find other cards and pay retail in the room, and there's meat on the bone. The card could potentially sell for more than he's buying it for at retail.
I've been buying $100 and $200 cards from Ash on eBay just because it's easy. I don't call him. I don't say, hey, can I get a deal on this card? He's buying cards that are nicely, they're beautiful looking cards, and they're a little bit more money than the comps per se, maybe 50%. And I'm just buying them because whether they're from Ash or not, he knows what he's doing.
Why are you doing that? You could go to Legacy Cards, the website, and pay it without paying the eBay fee.
Because I like paying them on eBay. I like overpaying to keep Ash in business. I don't want Ash.
The money.
It's sort of like the Chinese food place around the corner. You want it? They said, do you have any coupons, sir? No coupons. I want to pay full price. Why full price, sir? Because I want you to be here next week when I want your food.
He gets the same money. It's his website, Petty.
He doesn't have these on. He doesn't have those cheap cards on his website.
Yes.
All right.
Every card that's on eBay is on his website.
David,
Ash got me good. Ash.
We're at
I
the
want to
two,
pass into the
we're
next
at the
show.
2 hour
He
mark.
got us into the last show, didn't he, David?
I'm not
Not
going
me.
anywhere.
You
No,
did, yeah,
no.
in Anaheim.
No, he
David.
got you in. I paid for
No,
my ticket.
you
I just came
no,
in at the
you
same time.
well, we paid for our tickets, but he got us in.
All right, David, do you have any thoughts on this topic before we go to our final thoughts?
What's the topic again?
The
That
topic
cards are
is
expensive?
dealers buying from each other and then selling to us.
Okay. Yes, that's true. All right. But you know what? These dealers that I've never heard of before that are showing up at Strongsville and it's the only show they're going to, I'm never going to be able to buy their cards anyway. At least somebody like Asher Garrett, I'll see their cards because they list it on Facebook, on eBay, on their website. So they do kind of get a lot of the other cards that I like, and they have them. So there's a reason why they have the best inventory. You know, it happens all the time. It's always when I see like a short print leaf card where I'll pass it and I'll be like, huh, that's an interesting card, but it's probably overpriced. And then I always see it in Ash's case, like by day 2 for 20% higher,
Yeah.
right? So he knows like those kind of cards, but I could have bought it the first time around and I didn't. So that's my fault. And I just don't think it's the biggest deal in the world because I agree with what you guys are saying. Part of it is knowing to go to the people that have the inventory. And that's great about going to a show. You get there early, you scope around, you go around the show, try to find those deals. But all in all, when we're not at a show, how are we going to buy these cards? They're either on eBay or they're with one of the big dealers that are going to promote it in other ways. Or we would never have the cards unless we're at one of these big shows.
I think that it's basically we're paying a little bit of a convenience fee is what we're doing. And you know, hate it, love it, whatever. And like Bob said in the thing in the chat a second ago, if you don't like the price, move on. Who cares? You know, don't pay the price. If people don't pay the price, then that doesn't work. So now at the end of the day, we're just 4 dudes along with 170 people still in the chat that love cards, that want to add them to our collection. Well, we were, I think our high water mark was around 211.
Where'd everybody
today.
Go?
They all left when I took over for Darren. I'm sorry, guys. But...
No. It spiked after Darren left. No, I don't know what you did. But that said, you guys are the best. I want to go around the horn one last time for some final thoughts, wrap a bow around this. And I do also want to say to everybody in the chat, truly, I mean this every time. David, I think it was David was asking me earlier, are you excited for tonight? And I said, I always get nervous that nobody's going to show up. And that's a true story. I literally get nervous that no one's going to show up. So when you show up live, it means a lot to me. The chat is what makes a lot of the laughs happen, a lot of the good times happen. So I appreciate all of you that have shown up tonight for this live. And if you can't make it tonight, I understand. If you're listening to it recorded, that's cool. But the live attendees mean a lot to me. So thank you to each of you that did that, as well as you guys on the screen. You guys being willing to be seen in public with me, I appreciate as well. So let's start with Tony around the horn. Final thoughts, wrap things up, Tony.
I'm sorry I talked about Dusty Sports Card Digest.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who's
I don't know what he's talking about. What are you talking about?
I just said if I got to look up who these guys are on
Dusty.
Sports Card Digest, you know, I'm just not going to do it. And I just went on a little rant, and I'm sorry.
You had the wig on. Everything's all
No, I
good.
didn't have
Don't
the wig
worry.
on yet.
Oh, you didn't yet?
No.
Okay.
If I'd had the wig
that was
on,
my favorite part of the show. What are you talking
too.
about? That was
Okay,
amazing.
Okay.
It was unfiltered.
And also,
Tony, which
I love you, Greg. You do the best live stream. Sorry, I know I'm stepping on Jeremy Lee's toe. He stepped on my toes about autographed cards. So I'm just saying it.
best
You know I'm
wishes,
joking,
love
Jeremy.
Tony.
You know I'm joking. Jeremy's
Love
awesome.
Tony. Love Tony.
I like
there
the
he is.
business.
He's there.
Jeremy's here.
I'm gonna say this, Jeremy. Without question, Jeremy has the best live streams in the industry.
He started it all.
He
Let's
did.
not get-
He did.
He
He's
did.
the godfather
The
of the live streams.
He is Johnny Carson.
So
Yes.
let me hit a couple of things quickly. First, Lou Rock, text us privately if you want. and then Andrew, who won the ladder of cards. The later, so what I have to do is after this closes, I get a report of the top people in the chat. Those people will then be put into the drawing. So later this week, either probably going to be Friday, to be honest with you, in my video, I will have the drawing and it will say who wins the Card Ladder subscription. Again, thank you to my friends at Card Ladder. Those guys are the best. Hoj texted me today. He's not just a guy who owns the company that I believe in and that sponsors me, but I consider the guy a friend. He's a great guy. So thank you to Card Ladder. Okay, David Chase, final thoughts.
Well, I love all of you. I love my Jeremy Lee. You know it's a good show, by the way, on Saturday, when after the show, I literally have to call and apologize 3 people, and 2 of them are on this panel, by the way, that I have to apologize for on Saturday.
What did you have to apologize to me for?
Oh, Greg, you don't remember? You literally texted me during the show and after the show.
I remember. I was just waiting for you to say it publicly, but you don't have to.
That Jeremy Lee was that I said I love Jeremy Lee. I think
he said, Jeremy Lee, you're my favorite person. And I immediately texted him. I said, oh, really? Okay. And so that was just a joke. But yeah.
And he always gives me, he always tries to get me off my game. He's texting me always during the show, which I always been cracking up. But all right, let's be serious about this. You guys, okay, this panel and Darren, you guys are my hobby family, and Jeremy Lee, but you guys are really my hobby family. I really do love you guys. I really appreciate you welcoming me in. And it's just really special to me. I feel like I'm like a Make-A-Wish kid without the terminal illness. But
you're actually like, you're a lot like Scott Thurston, the 6th heartbreaker.
Oh, is that the Tom Petty? The 6th heartbreaker?
That's Tom Petty, the heartbreaker. Scott Thurston. He was like the 6th heartbreaker.
You're Billy.
That might be the greatest thing anyone's ever said to me, Mr.
You're Scott Thurston.
No, I just really appreciate you guys. Just like really welcome me into your hobby family and your support. And I just really, really care about your channels and as you guys all as friends. So thank you.
All right, Petty, final thoughts.
I hope everybody gets a nice subscription to the Card Ladder, because you need to climb that Card Ladder. You need to be selling and buying and just climb it to the top. That's all I can say. I don't even know what the hell it is. Really.
Give us I ain't going anywhere, Petty. Do it.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
They're gonna need a wrecking ball.
They're wrecking ball to get rid of me.
All right, guys.
Oh, God.
All you out there still listening, you guys
it's a family
troopers.
show, and we're all family.
Well, it's after 10 p.m. here, so I mean,
man. Thank you guys for hanging in with us tonight.
Yep.
Thanks for having us again, Greg.
Thank you. Greg.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
for bringing Chase on.
Chase was a fun surprise ad for all of us. Darren, we love you, even though we razzed you after you left. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like the friend who passes out first at the party and gets Sharpie all over his face. It's just what happens.
We love Superman.
Yeah, he's the best. So,
He's
all right, guys. Thank you to everyone out there, and appreciate all of you for hanging out with us tonight.
Peace. Love.